All right, today we're jumping into what is, no exaggeration, one of the most powerful and successful techniques in all of machine learning. I'm talking about the secret weapon behind so many competition winners and real-world AI systems. We're talking about gradient boosting. So have you ever wondered what the secret weapon is for world champion AI? What gives data scientists that winning edge? Well, when you're dealing with structured, tabular data, the stuff you find in spreadsheets and databases, the answer is almost always gradient boosting. It's pretty much the undisputed champion in that arena. And this isn't just some abstract thing for competitions, not at all. This algorithm is a total workhorse out in the real world. I mean, think about it, from your credit score to spotting fraud to figuring out which movie you should watch next, or even just ranking your search results. Gradient boosting is quietly working behind the scenes, shaping our digital lives. It is incredibly practical. Okay, so to really get how this works, we need to zoom out a bit and talk about a bigger idea: the power of teamwork. The whole philosophy here is that a team of specialists working together can almost always beat a single genius. Let's see how that idea builds up to gradient boosting. So this whole teamwork strategy, it has a name: Ensemble learning. And gradient boosting is a total star player in this family. The fundamental principle is simple. You combine a bunch of different models, we call them learners, to get a final result that's way more powerful and way more reliable than any single one of them could ever be on its own. So in the world of ensemble learning, there are really two main strategies. On one side, you've got bagging. Think of it like this. You hire a whole room of different experts, they all tackle the problem on their own, and then you just take a vote on the final answer. It's a great way to cancel out any one expert's weird blind spots. But on the other side, you have boosting, which is what we're here for today. And this is totally different. It's more like an assembly line. The first model takes a crack at the problem, and the next model's entire job is to fix the mistakes the first one made. It's this focused, step-by-step process of getting better and better. And that right there brings us to the absolute core idea of gradient boosting: learning from your mistakes. See, it's not just about throwing a bunch of models together. It's about building them in a very specific way, where each one intelligently corrects the one that came before it. This really gets to the heart of it. Let's imagine you're trying to predict house prices. Your first model gives it a shot, right? But of course, it gets a bunch of them wrong. Now, here's the clever part. The next model doesn't try to predict the prices again. Nope. Its entire job is to predict the mistakes the first model made. It's literally a specialist in fixing what just went wrong. So who are these models, these players on the team? Well, we actually call them weak learners. Usually they're just really simple, shallow decision trees. And honestly, on its own, one of these trees is not very smart. It might be just a tiny bit better than a random guess. But, and this is the magic, when you string hundreds or even thousands of them together in a chain, with each one correcting the last, you end up creating one incredibly powerful and smart final model. Okay, so how does this whole learning from mistakes thing actually work under the hood? It might sound complicated, but I promise it's really just a simple step-by-step recipe. All right, let's walk through this recipe together. Step 1, you start with a really dumb, simple prediction. For our house price example, you could just predict the average price for every single house. Super basic. Step 2, you calculate the errors. Data scientists call these residuals, but it's just the difference between your dumb prediction and the real price. Now, step 3 is where the magic happens. You train a brand new tree, but you don't train it to predict house prices. You train it to predict those errors. Its only job is to find the pattern in your mistakes. Then, in step 4, you take your original guess and nudge it a little bit in the direction of this new error-correcting tree. And then, you just do it all over again, step 5. You repeat the process. Each new tree that you add gets a little bit smarter, focusing on the smaller and smaller errors that are left over, getting you closer and closer to a perfect prediction. So why the name gradient boosting? Well, here's a cool analogy. Imagine you're standing on a hillside in a thick fog, and you want to get to the bottom of the valley. You can't see, so what do? You feel the ground at your feet and take a step in the steepest downward direction. That's gradient descent. That's the gradient part. In our case, our valley is the total error of our model, and each new tree we add, that's like taking one smart, calculated step in the direction that reduces our error the most. We're literally descending towards the best possible answer, one tree at a time. Now, the classic algorithm is genius for sure, but in the last decade or so, things got a massive upgrade. A few new, super optimized versions showed up and just completely took over the entire field. So let's meet the modern champions you're going to see everywhere. First up, you have XGBoost. That stands for Extreme Gradient Boosting. And let me tell you, this was a total game changer. It took the original idea and just put it on steroids. It's way faster because it's designed to squeeze every ounce of performance out of modern computers. It's also smarter because it has built-in protections against overfitting, where the model just memorizes the data instead of actually learning. And it's just more convenient. It can handle messy, real-world data with missing values right out of the box. For years, this was the absolute king.
But the story doesn't end there. Then comes LightGBM, which was built by Microsoft with one thing in mind: pure, blistering speed on huge datasets. Its main trick is how it grows its little decision trees. Instead of building them out symmetrically, level by level, it grows leaf-wise. That just means it always focuses on growing the part of the tree that will give it the biggest bang for its buck, the biggest reduction in error. It's a much more efficient way to get to a good answer fast. And because of this and other tricks, LightGBM is just ridiculously fast, especially when you have millions of rows of data.
All right, so here's the face-off. It really breaks down like this. If you've got a gigantic data set and speed is everything, LightGBM is probably your best bet. If your data has tons of categorical features, things like country names or product brands, CatBoost is the specialist. It's built to handle that stuff flawlessly and can give you a nice accuracy bump. And for just about everything else, XGBoost is your powerful, reliable, do-it-all workhorse. So which one you choose really just depends on what your data looks like and what you're trying to optimize for.
Okay, but like any super powerful tool, gradient boosting isn't a silver bullet. You've got to know where it shines and where you need to be a little careful. So the advantages are, well, they're huge. That's why it's so popular. First off, for that spreadsheet-style data, its accuracy is just state-of-the-art. End of story. It's also amazing at finding really complex, hidden patterns in your data, those weird relationships you'd never think to look for. And all that power and flexibility, that's exactly why it wins data science competitions again and again and again. But, of course, there are some trade-offs. For one, because it builds the trees one after another, training can sometimes be a bit slow. It's also really sensitive to the settings you give it. We call them hyperparameters. You have to spend some time tuning them just right to get the best results. And finally, because the final prediction comes from this big team of hundreds of little trees, it can be really hard to peek inside and understand why it made a specific decision. It can feel like a bit of a black box sometimes. So, let's just nail down the key takeaway here. If you are ever working with structured, tabular data, customer records, financial numbers, sensor readings, anything like that, gradient boosting algorithms should be one of the absolute first tools you pull out of your toolbox. It really is, quite simply, the king of tabular data. And that kind of leaves us with one last thought to chew on. The whole secret sauce of this incredible technique is just iterative improvement. You make a small mistake, you learn from that exact mistake, and then you try again, just a little bit better. It's an incredibly powerful model for learning, not just for machines, but maybe for us too.